Welcome back to the kitchen of Taste of Asian Food. Today I want to make some tofu at home. To make tofu, we need a coagulant to set the tofu. Normally we use gypsum or calcium sulfate to set the tofu. If you go to the market, you purchase a tofu, normally they will use that. But the problem is it is hard to get in the market, especially if you just want to purchase a small amount, especially for home cook. So what I'm going to do today is to use egg as a coagulant to set it. And that's why today I'm going to make egg tofu. There are only 3 ingredients we need to make egg tofu at home: the egg, the unsweetened soy milk, and just a pinch of salt. Crack the egg into a bowl. I have 5 eggs here and the weight is about 260 grams. The weight is important because I want to make sure that the quantity of soy milk that I use is correct. Since I want to make a relatively firmer tofu for pan frying, so what I'm going to do is to add sufficient soy milk for that quantity, about 1.5 times of the weight of the egg. That is about 400 ml or 400 grams. Okay, 400 ml of soy milk and 5 eggs. Next step, beat the egg. Try to be gentle and not to create bubbles. And then slowly add all the soy milk into it. Also add a small amount of salt. The ingredients are soy milk, egg and salt. Very simple. Once it is done, let it pass through a strainer to remove any impurities and bubbles. Now let's set it aside first, since I need to prepare the mold to steam the tofu. And since I'm doing it at home, I'm going to use whatever that I have at home. This glassware should be fine. In order to prevent the egg tofu stick onto the glassware, I'm going to use baking paper as a liner. As you can see, if I use baking paper or parchment paper, after steaming, the tofu may not be perfect and it may be slightly crumbled. In the restaurant, most of them will not do that. Instead, they will use a plastic wrap or shrink wrap to line it and it will come out perfect. But because I'm concerned about the microplastic from shrink wrap or from plastic wrap, so I will forego this one. No doubt it looks much better. I will use my baking paper instead. Let me transfer the egg and the soybean mixture to the measuring cup for easy pouring. Pour it through the fine strainer to capture more bubbles. And then use the tip of the paper towel to poke any bubbles if you can find, to make sure the surface is smooth. Next is to set up a steaming station. If you have a steamer, you can use a steamer. If not, you can use a wok like what I'm doing with a trivet. Put it at the center. Place the tofu on top. Make sure that it is level. Then cover with a plate to ensure that there is no water dripping on it during steaming. Cover it and steam for a certain time to check afterwards, see whether it is fully cooked. Okay, time's up, and let's see how is the result, whether it is already fully cooked. So remove the plate that covered the top. It is jiggling, as you can see that. It is just cooked. So I'm not too sure whether the internal, just poke something into it and pull it out. It is clean. I can use the bigger one. Instead of the toothpick, I use the bigger skewer. It is not fully cooked, just a little bit more, so I'll let me close it and cook it for a few more minutes. Okay, let's look at it again. Remove it. It is quite set now, I would say. Let's poke my skewer into it to check to the bottom and pull it out. It is done. So what I'm going to do is that I will switch it off, let it cool down for a little while first. Let's remove it from the steaming station. Look at it, it is jiggling. It is already set. Now just let it sit at room temperature as it is for a while. It is too hot now. When it's getting cooler, it will become firmer and it's easier to remove it from the container. Now it's no longer that hot anymore. Remove it from the glassware. Do it carefully. And slowly open up the paper. It's not going to be very nice looking outside because this is a crumbling paper, but I use it instead of using a shrink wrap, which is basically plastic. It's getting cold and it's easier to handle. Now we have a piece of homemade tofu that is ready to stir fry, deep fry, to braise, or whatever way you got to cook it. In the next videos, I will use this homemade tofu to make some common Cantonese style tofu dish, so stay tuned. That's how to make egg tofu at home, and I hope you will love this video. And I will leave the recipe in the description below this video and also at the end of this video for your reference. And if you would like to see what am I going to do with this tofu, I will upload my next video very soon and I will show you how to use this homemade tofu to make a deep fried tofu dish. See you next time. Bye for now.